Ladies and gentlemen, His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, Tenzin Gyatso. So,
it is a great honor for me to receive the Congressional Gold Medal. This recognition will bring tremendous joy and encouragement to the Tibetan people, for whom I have a special responsibility. Their welfare is my constant motivation, and I always consider myself as their free spokesman. I believe that this award also sends a powerful message to those many individuals who are dedicated to promoting peace, understanding, and harmony.
Over the years, Congress has conferred the gold medal on many great figures in history, usually at a time when their struggles were over and won. Today, Congress has chosen to do something different. It has conferred this honor on a figure whose work continues and whose outcome remains uncertain. And that is why I will continue to urge the leaders of China to welcome the Dalai Lama to China. They will find this good man to be a man of peace and reconciliation.
Today, I wish to share with you all my sincere hope that the future of Tibet and China will move beyond mistrust on a relationship based on mutual respect, trust, and recognition of common interest.
Today, in honoring a great man of faith and courage, you, members of Congress, and you, Mr. President, are giving power to truth. Admire
what accounts for the rise of this humble Buddhist monk from near obscurity to the global phenomenon that he has become? It is not lobbies, it is not economic power, it is not political influence, it is moral authority.
On the future of Tibet, let me take this opportunity to restate categorically that I am not seeking independence. I am seeking a meaningful autonomy for the Tibetan people within the People's Republic of China. If the real concern of the Chinese leadership is the unity and stability of PRC, I have fully addressed their concern. I have chosen to adopt this position because I believe, given the obvious benefits, especially in economic development, this would be in the best interest for the Tibetan people. Furthermore, I have no intention of using any agreement on autonomy as a stepping stone for Tibet's independence.
On behalf of 6 million Tibetan people who continue to suffer under the iron grip of Beijing's communist rulers, they continue to brave systematic attacks aimed at destroying their national and cultural identities. But they do not waver. They do not falter. They know that truth and justice will prevail over evil and repression. Their guide and inspiration is His Holiness. But the efforts of this blessed man are not limited to Tibet. His wisdom and his compassion transcend national boundaries.
I know the Dalai Lama is a reasonable man. He is not seeking independence, but meaningful autonomy within the People's Republic of China. And I truly believe that if the Chinese leadership were to sit down with the Dalai Lama, they together could work out a solution whereby he would be able to return to his native Tibet, which has long been his hope and dream. This, sadly, has been a lost opportunity. The simple truth is, I can think of no one who more embodies the spirit of the Congressional Gold Medal than His Holiness the Dalai Lama.
Tonight, when this work is done, this ceremony is over, all of you will go home. Members of Congress will finish their work tomorrow, and they will go home. We'll go to our districts and we'll see our families. The Dalai Lama will not go home. He's not been home in 50 years. So today we honor his sacrifice and his struggle, and with a firm commitment that we will never forget the people of Tibet.
Another major concern of the Chinese government is its lack of legitimacy in Tibet. While I cannot rewrite the past, mutually agreeable solution could bring legitimacy. And I am certainly prepared to use my position and influence among the Tibetan people to bring consensus on this question. So I would also like to restate here that I have no hidden agenda. My decision not to accept any political office in a future Tibet is final.
The Tibetan people have a right to their heritage, their freedom, and the man we honor today is not only courageous, but also right to demand both. Again and again, we've reached out in solidarity to the Dalai Lama and the Tibetan people, and the Chinese government needs to know that we will continue to do so. The U.S. Congress stands with Tibet.
This was an historic moment because His Holiness was relinquishing his goal of independence in favor of a compromise solution, autonomy. The Dalai Lama has expressed a willingness to visit China to engage directly with the highest level officials. I join Mr. Lantos and others who have in their hope that Beijing will take advantage of this opportunity and extend an invitation to His Holiness for substantive discussions.
I thank you once again for the high honor that you have bestowed on me today. Thank you.